And how is it going, everyone? Welcome to more I Wanna Spy game with the triangles here. And I want to continue this game, well, for two reasons. One is because it's quite hot today, so I can play a game like this without headphones. And another one is because the creator of this game nerfed this screen. This screen is actually easier than it was when I first played it. So that's pretty cool. I mean, even he noticed that this screen was a little bit too messed up. Also, how is it going, Opanker? Yeah, it's a needle game, correct. And Draenor, how is it going? But yeah, this screen has been done easier. It's still hard, like... I feel like the funny thing is that I barely even got to the first part that he nerfed, which is this thing. And then he nerfed a bunch of other stuff like this fall here, this spike. I think he nerfed this too. But everything else is still quite hard, so I don't know how long I might take to beat this or not. I still have the feeling that this is easier with the gamepad. Just that I'm very lazy to switch to gamepad now, but that if I struggle a little bit more, I'm gonna do it, because it really feels like the perfect screen for gamepad. It's going quite decently. Yeah, I'm doing well. With a lot of heat, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I'm still in summer, so it's what you would expect. Starting to develop some love for EVE Online now. That is until someone starts cutting the power from your house, right? That will be something. I need some of that heat. I mean, it would be ideal if winter and summer did not exist and the whole year was just autumn. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunately we gotta deal with seasons of extreme temperatures. I have to be a fleet commander for that. Well, you can become one. That one champ, dude, I don't know why, but it feels so hard to do for me. Hey, there's something about it that fucks me up quite immensely. Hey, as I say, I think it might be better to switch to gamepad. I don't know, I guess it depends on how long it takes me to progress here. I think that I'm just connecting gamepad and at least doing this screen with it. Because, well, I also seen some of the other screens. I saw Echo play this, and some of the other screens have gimmicks that I should use keyboard for. But this one seems that it's just made for gamepad, dude. It seems like it will be so much easier with gamepad. Training the skills required to fly a Titan ship takes like almost 4 years. That seems a little bit exaggerated. But yeah. I mean, it reminds me of Street Fighter 4. Some people say that to master a character in Street Fighter 4, you needed to spend 1 year with it. It wasn't very far off. Even with the easy characters, kinda took a while to master. Which is the reason why Street Fighter 5 went the opposite direction. They made every character be mastered in a couple of weeks. Takes over a year just to be able to sit in the damn thing, then another 3 to train the skills required to use the weapons and gear needed for it. Nice. So it's basically more about farming than it is about learning, is what you're trying to say. Well, I mean, they are not mutually exclusive sometimes, but I don't know if it will apply in this case. The biggest problem of this champ here, the fact that you cannot hold left on the way up, makes this very hard, because you're supposed to barely tap left here and then tap left again once you are over this, and then have enough distance to reach this. That's hard to do. Okay, I'll tell you what. If I get to the 10-minute mark and I still haven't progressed past that point, I'm switching to controller. In fact, I probably should do it before, because I'm not seeing results right now. Like, this probably will have to be done with controller. In fact, I wonder if with controller I could have done the non-nerf version of this screen. Hold up. Let me try it, because maybe here I'm championing controller as if it was the final solution, but in reality, maybe it's gonna suck. So if I do that, I need to change wait, I need to show it to key, that's right. I forgot. Well, I could make it detect my controls, but a lot of fan games don't play well with that, in the sense that they don't detect it. So here I can do reset controls, there you go. And with that, now that I open show it to key, it should work, right? Yeah, it does work. So how is this with gamepad, I wonder? I already got way past it. On the first try with the gamepad, I already got past the part I was stuck with. It's a little bit crazy. Maybe it was just beginner's luck though. Let's not get too cocky yet. Skills train over time, and you can only train one skill at a time, so it will also mean you can't train any other skill if you focus on it. Well, sounds like a pain in the ass, but it's okay. That's how MMOs are, with a lot of stuff after all. Speaking of pain in the ass, this is clearly easy with the gamepad, but it's still not free. Okay. What do I do here? Well, not that, clearly. I mean, this is straightforward. You're supposed to jump here, jump. A lot of jumps, basically. And Echo recommended me that if I get here, when I do this jump, that I should use a double jump here to line up this other jump properly. Though I still have to worry about getting there. I did learn Eevee has something equivalent to healer, so I know what I'm doing. Okay. I mean, that's the important thing. Do not farm for something that eventually will be useless. So yeah, don't you worry. So it's a little bit messed up how in a lot of games with high skill ceiling, it's hard to tell if you're training the right way. Fighting games are a very good example of that, but there are a lot of them, of games like that you might be doing something to try to get better that doesn't really benefit you that much compared to something else, and maybe it can even give you some bad habits. I guess with fighting games, usually if you have some bad habits, you're gonna get them beaten out of you. And really, you're kinda supposed to keep going left once you get here instead of retreating like you do. Like, you don't have to be afraid of this spike because you're most likely not gonna hit it. Like, you champ and you probably want to hold left because otherwise you're not making it here. Okay. Sure. What was I saying? Oh yeah, fighting games. In a lot of fighting games, if you have some bad habits, they are gonna get beaten out of you. So you probably will figure out what you're doing wrong. But yeah, there are some other games that are more about knowledge. And especially MMOs, you will be farming for a build that you think is very good, when in reality it's not worth the effort. I mean, most people that play MMOs look up guides. I mean, I know I do. Well, if I play something at least that has builds, I look up guides, because trying to think of a build on my own is a very bad idea, usually. Like, I'm terrible doing builds on my own for MMOs or other things that require a lot of different combinations of stuff. So before trying to spend a lot of time doing the wrong stuff, I think that it's just better to not do that. It's fine. Okay. That's fucked up. So I guess this is not a full champ. You want to do this, but assuming that you double champ from here, can you even reach this? I guess you can. You could also land on top of this, I'm pretty sure, though that wouldn't give you any benefit. Well, it will give you the benefit of being able to set up this champ more easily, though you might not even have the height to do it. So even if it will be possible, if you were higher, you cannot reach it. So regardless of that, do we need doing this? Like, this cannot be a full champ. It's not possible for this to be a full champ. You have to champ around here and then double champ here, which the double champ will be a full champ, but okay. It's one of those things that very hard to think in the heat of the moment, but yeah. Well, basically, if you want to talking about the nerfs of this screen, it's pretty easy if you just look at my the previous part of this playthrough to see what changed, but essentially you have these were supposed to be mini spikes. I think this part used to be like a big spike here. I think these spikes here were closer. This platform was a simple platform and not a long one. These spikes I think also were higher. I think this one was left the same. This spike was an upward spike, but it got turned into a sideways one. The mini spikes here were arranged differently, or maybe they weren't even mini spikes. I think it was a big spike here. And then I don't know if he nerfed anything else. I think he left the rest as is, but those are the nerfs. There's also another nerf in another screen, but I haven't got there yet. And the nerf is more of something that he didn't remember to take away, I guess. it's a weird thing, like, there's basically a cherry in a place it wasn't supposed to be. And he had to take it out. But it wasn't there in a previous build, so I don't know what he did. But he got rid of the cherry for this version, making it easier. But yeah, it's in a screen that it's still like quite some screens away from here. So we don't have to worry about that yet. Don't worry, no. No, right now I have to worry about this. And that's already enough on my plate, I will say. At least I got quite far. Still not far enough to say I die on the last champ, but yeah, it's fine. I still think that this screen is a little, like, even with the nerfs, this screen is a little bit too hard. Like, it probably is the hardest screen in the game. Well, unless you take into account doing the Airvine screen with controller, that's terrible. But yeah, you can just use keyboard. Doing this with keyboard is, this screen with keyboard is kinda the opposite. Or maybe it's just the fact that I'm not that used to keyboard, so a screen like this is, you know. Didn't. Like, a screen like this will probably not be that different with keyboard or gamepad. I'm just way more used to gamepad. Still very messed up, I will say. Pretty crazy to think that Echo was able to beat this game in 7 minutes. I mean, not the day he streamed it, but as he was testing it, he was able to beat it in 7 minutes. Pretty messed up. You can beat something like this that fast. I mean, he's the creator, I guess. Still quite unbelievable. I guess that was too low. I probably could have made that work, but it's fine. It would be messed up if I actually couldn't beat this screen today. I feel like it might be the case. I mean, until I can get to the last champ, I cannot say just a couple more attempts. Like, until I get there, this is just gonna be pain. Just nothing but pain. Quite scary. At least that fall in the middle where you need to go in that 20 pixel gap, that one is not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Actually very permissive. I mean, you essentially just kinda need to tap right and that's it. Just tapping right works. So yeah. That's cool. Okay, that's not the problem. So this is basically a very good way, because I mean it's the first time I play a fun game that gets something changed in the middle of a playthrough, especially something that I did the unnerf, or what that I tried the unnerf way. But this one just looks, even if it's easier, it's like the nerf didn't do that much to make this screen feel less fucked up. It still feels fucked up. No, it's fine. I am glad though that I bring out the gamepad. I mean, I initially bring out the gamepad because I thought I would be done with this game quickly, and that the only the remaining thing in the stream, I would play something else. Was thinking of playing Shampoo Refractor, but now I'm not so sure. So at least, as I say, it is useful because right now I am using gamepad. But it's definitely quite useful. Man, that one little champ with that vertical platform is so messed up. It's so messed up. We'll have asked him to nerf that one. But I mean, I didn't really ask him to nerf anything in particular. I just jokingly asked him to nerf this screen, and he did. Very opposite to what I thought. But yeah, that one vertical platform up there is... I feel like it's just very hard. Well, very hard and almost impossible with keyboard to me. Though not that champ in particular, but the one that comes afterwards. Though still doing that little champ without hitting the spikes is also very hard, so... yeah. It's fine. Damn it. The funny thing was basically seeing Echo beat anything, or rather everything, before this part of the game. He beat it in like, I don't know, 15 minutes or less. And then he got to this screen and he took like half an hour to beat it. And then the rest of the game he beat it more or less fast. He probably also took like 15 minutes to beat the rest of the game, but this shit, dude, it's a little bit out of control, even after the nerfs. I mean, I do remember Ventis' screen taking me a while, which is the previous screen. I don't think even that one took me as much as this one. One really seems to be in another level. Yeah, that one part, I'm feeling it like for the third time right now. All this is Songli's fault. Another thing that I spoil myself is what characters appear afterwards. Much to my surprise, the pattern is not supposed to be the Genshin Impact Archons, but rather it's just Echo's favorite characters of each element, which just happen to be the Archons in almost all of them, but there are some exceptions. So yeah, well, technically half of them are Archons and half of them are not. Well, there is not such things as halves when the whole number is uneven, but yeah, 4 of them are Archons or 3 of them are not. So yeah, basically as much as half is possible in an uneven number. Damn it, dude. Why did you do this? Why did you do this screen, dude? For what reason did you do this screen? Well, it also goes in line with, in Genshin Impact, Shio being essentially the worst element in the game. And the hardest one to do well with. At least it used to be the case. I don't know if it is the case anymore, but it's essentially an element that cannot get reactions. And Genshin Impact's gameplay is all about doing reactions between the elements, but Shio cannot react with anything. So unless you have a very good character, a very good Shio character, that is, the element by itself is trash. But yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, it's just as hard to play with as this screen. I guess in that regard, it follows very closely to how Genshin Impact is. So I cannot imagine how hard this would have been if I was playing the unnerfed version. Maybe it wouldn't be that hard, because I think the biggest difference that I made here is changing to controller rather than the nerfs themselves. I mean, the nerfs themselves do help, but I think that it's mostly switching to controller that was the MVP move. MVP move doesn't make much sense, but basically the winning move is what I'm trying to say. Also, I don't know if you are there or Punker, but why do you play games like Super Needle Game, or whatever the name was? That game where every time you go through a portal, one spike appears and you are back to the beginning. I mean, I'm not shadowing. I'm just curious to know the motivation behind playing those games, because I personally wouldn't have the motivation to play them. I feel like even if I was good at Needle, but you know, its peak. Well, you could say that the needles have peaks. Yeah, they are triangles after all. But yeah, about the gameplay, I'm not sure. Well, the good thing for you is that there are like 3 or 4 games like that, so not only you have 1,000 screens in a single game, But if you reunite all of the games together, you have 4,000 in total. Yeah, you can play it for quite a while. Man, that champ is so fucked up. I mean, I need to champ less. Like, I need to do a very short hop, but I feel like I cannot make the second one. It isn't any longer because I got stuck on one save that starts with a squish corner, and I don't think I wanna play that. Yeah, that's understandable. But the amount of shit that you put through is quite interesting. Because you were able to withstand like 20 diagonals in a row, like a lot of gate champs as well, all crammed together. Like some weird pattern with like inverted spikes. You definitely are doing some stuff that, well, it's very unique. Damn it. I don't think most people will have the patience to do that. So hey, props to you. I mean, not just for finding the motivation to play that, but also for being good enough to actually progress. I personally know that I'm pretty far from pulling off anything like that. Well, as you can see, I'm struggling with something like this. That you will probably beat this sprint in like, what, 10 tries? Well, no, it's not about the amount of tries, but rather the amount of time spent on this. I don't think this will take you more than 10 minutes, and that's already an exaggeration, I feel. It's the curiosity. Of course. A very strong force. Curiosity is correct. Yeah. At least I'm glad that games like that have their audience. Because I mean, even a game like that maybe the creator didn't put a whole thought or effort on it. Even something like that at some point was meant to be played by someone. At least it's nice to see that those games find their players. Well, and the players find the game as well, you know. I don't have the needle sheen. I don't have it in my sheens to be good at needle. I do have it in my sheens to have a lot of perseverance. But yeah, I mean, that also depends. There are some fun games that I didn't continue. But yeah. And honestly, this screen is still ultra fucked up, dude. Okay, doing that spin is also very hard. Because what I'm trying to do, obviously, is I'm turning left very early. But if you jump from here without turning left earlier, you're gonna hit this mini spike. It's not like I'm doing it because I should feel like it. And then you're supposed to do this jump in a single, well, jump. You're supposed to double jump to position yourself better here. Because if you were to double jump over this, your full speed, it probably will still be possible to catch this platform, but your full speed will be so fast that you're most likely not gonna make it. yeah, I feel like Echo went a little bit too far for this one. The others just wanna play the needle games are actually somewhat interesting. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I'm glad for you, because I'm definitely not gonna play them, but I'm glad at least you have something to look forward to. Super goes all out. I mean, already the fact that that those games have 1,000 screens, even though, like, you know, most of them look extremely... I mean, most of them are just adding a spike to a previous screen, but the fact that you are intended to get past 1,000 screens is quite crazy in itself. So yeah. Fuck, dude, that turnaround is gonna be such a piece of shit to do. This turnaround... You have to be so weak. If this was closer, it wouldn't be as hard, but you already have to be holding right to get to the platform. And then you need to move very slightly to the left. If it was closer, you will have more time to adjust yourself, but you don't have time there. The first one doesn't even have any +1 spike sections. What do you mean by that? Doesn't it add 1 spike every time you go through a portal? Or do you mean something else? Because I thought the whole gimmick was that every time you went through a portal, a new spike got added, right? Or is it more than 1 spike? The screens that add 1 spike after every room. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Isn't that the case? I feel like when I was watching you, it did add 1 spike to every... Oh wait, the one you played is not the first one? Because I think that's where the confusion happens. I thought that was the first one. So you're saying that that's not even the first one. Him. Well, that's something. Oh, Super is the most recent one. Oh, I see. I thought that since the other ones were numbered, that was just the first one, but... That turnaround is gonna take away years of my life. Every time I fail that jump, I can see my lifespan shrinking by 1 year. That's very infuriating. And to see my lifespan shortening every time I fail that jump. But yeah, it's Super being the most recent one. I mean, it's interesting to think that the previous ones were even more... Okay, I kinda got greedy there. Like, it's one of those things that it's hard to react in the moment, but instead of going straight to this, I should have double jump here. Just like, as I say, it's one of those things that when you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard to reason. Not to mention you don't have too much time to think. But yeah, if you get that jump properly, you shouldn't go straight for the other one. I mean, it works probably if you do it right, but it's a lot harder. Yeah, I was about to say that Surprising that the previous ones are even more rough, at least in terms of design. I don't know if in terms of difficulty. I didn't even think that was possible. To die to the top spike of the gate, really? Man, that's fucked up. I thought this champ would be very hard to make it here in the first place, like to have enough height, but not only I had enough height, I had too much height. Damn, that's Echo, you... I don't know what you were thinking with this screen, dude. I don't know what you were thinking. But yeah. Maybe Zhongli is your favorite character in the game, and you just wanted people to be staring at this screen for a while. I mean, I understand, Zhongli is a pretty interesting character. I mean, probably the best Archon in terms of, you know, not being a moron like the other Archons. Damn, again too high, no way. But if I let that go in the middle, I'm gonna hit the bottom one. I don't have the angle to just let the button go, right? That's fucked up. I only beat the first game, but it was a lot easier than Super is. What surprises me for those games is that the creator keeps doing them. Because it seems that most people say that the games are... I mean, fun games are the kind of thing that you can do for yourself. You don't need to do for anyone else. I'm just surprised that the creator has enough motivation to keep doing fun games even after so many people express their dislike for them. But at least in Delicious Fruit, but I'm assuming that it's the case in a lot of other places as well. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to do games for others, you can do games for yourself. Well, at least I can now say I got to the last champ and multiple times as well, so it's only a matter of time. But then, even with the nerf, this shit is probably gonna take an hour. I mean, if the other screens also take this, I guess it's whatever, but quite crazy, without a doubt. And since I'm using gamepad now, I probably should keep using gamepad until one of these screens that uses binds. That one screen with binds, I probably should not use gamepad at all. But yeah, everything else definitely probably gonna be quicker with gamepad. Probably. I don't know. I feel like anything with a lot of double jumps like this is easier with gamepad. Like any type of screen that well, any type of screen that I forgot what I was out to say and I don't care enough to remember, but yeah, I will continue with gamepad at least until I reach the binds that I know are coming. Not that I'm guessing, no, I know there are binds coming and it makes sense considering that the element that has them is Dendro. I mean, it's the most logical mechanic to use. To just like water is the most logical mechanic to use with Hydro. I have no idea what Electro uses, because I try not looking when Echo plays this, so I have no clue what Electro has, and I also have no clue what the other two have, like Pyro and Cryo. I don't know what they have. But I do know that Dendro is Vines and Hydro is the same gimmick that is at the beginning of the game with those water stripes. So yeah, know what to expect. I don't know how hard they are, because I didn't actually look at the layout of the screens. I just heard Echo commentating. Try not to look, because I didn't want to spoil myself. But yeah. But worrying about all of that is a waste of time if I cannot get past this. And so far it's not looking like I can get past it at all. Man, that's crazy. How can a screen even after nerfing it be so hard? Though I guess if anything, this kinda gives me some perspective that obviously it's not what he will go for in something like this, but the best way to nerf a screen is to add checkpoints. If your idea is to make the screen easier, it's probably the best you can do. You can change some spikes and obviously make it easier, but adding checkpoints is very obviously the best way to nerf something if your main idea is lowering the difficulty level. Yeah, Echo wouldn't do that, because that's not the idea of these screens. And well, speaking of the devil, how is it going, Echo? Yeah, you made it. You made it because this screen is so fucked up. That's why you made it. If this screen wasn't so fucked up, I would already be in Dendro or maybe Hydro even. But yeah, you made it. Yeah, exactly. If you added a checkpoint here, you will have to do it in all the other rooms for it to have that sort of coherence. But yeah, even with the nerfs, something that you might not know, I'm using gamepad. Doing this with keyboard to me feels impossible. It is one of those cases where it's the opposite of the Vines. With the keyboard, I have to do an insane amount of work to somehow get past this. With the gamepad, it's a lot more natural, though it's still very hard. I mean, as you can tell by the fact that I've been like 50 minutes here and still haven't beaten it. But yeah, gamepad makes it easier at least. With keyboard, I wasn't even able to get past this jump. I mean, I tried it for 5 minutes, to be fair, so maybe if I tried it for more I would have gotten further. The thing is that as soon as I switched to gamepad, I immediately made it to the part with the 20 pixel spikes, like in the first try. So yeah, gamepad is the way to go here, in this specific screen. Game is loud. Alright. Shouldn't be that loud here. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a headphone, so measuring the volume is not easy. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. it's every time that I don't use headphones, my voice tends to be lower since I can hear myself better. So if I don't want to, you know, to hear myself loud, I guess I instinctively speak more quiet. So yeah. When I have headphones, since I cannot hear me that well, I tend to speak louder. But it's fine. Well, it doesn't help that the heat is also something that doesn't make me want to speak louder, really. It means using more energy. And yeah, using energy when it's hot is bad. I can guarantee you that even without headphones, I still feel the heat a lot, and it's very hot. But I guess not as bad as it could be, but it's still bad. Not as bad as how bad I'm getting fucked by this screen though. But yeah. I even doubt that I can beat this today. Like it will take one lucky run, and a lucky run could happen or not, I don't know. But unless it happens, I just don't see myself beating this. And I already got to the last champ and everything, but I didn't thought it was possible. I didn't think it was possible, but I failed the last champ. Like I failed the gate champ. That's crazy, honestly, that you can even fail that. But yes, you can fail that. And you can fail that, I mean, yeah, it's easy to fail it by hitting the bottom spike. But no, I failed it by hitting the top spike instead. That's funny. And it didn't happen once, it happened twice. Damn it, dude. But yeah, I think that you might have gone a little bit overboard with this screen. The gate is like far away. Yeah. With the gate being far away, it's also hard to calculate the angle, because you can only do one jump. You cannot double jump before it, so... Well, in fact, you probably cannot calculate the angle. You just kinda have to do a leap of faith. I mean, calculating the jump, like the angle of the jump, will require some computer brain, I feel. It will just probably be easier to do it until it works. You try to calculate exactly where to jump for it to be enough. I like the place it's at. You mean this screen? Yeah, I can see that. I'm just saying that it's still too hard for me. You have to like go through it while moving downwards. Yeah, essentially. Like you kinda, depending on where you jump, you want to let go the jump briefly. But doing that also feels like you're gonna hit the low spike no matter what, you know? So there is something that I should probably mention. That I feel like if I cannot beat the screen before the hour-and-a-half mark, I feel like I'm gonna switch games. I don't know what game. I mean, I could do Shampoo Refractor though, feel like I rather not do needle. I probably will go for blue revolver, I guess. I mean, I'm going from ball busting to dick flattening, basically. But hey, I think that at least it's not needle, so it's kinda taking a break from that type of genital shusting, you know? It's just another type of genital shusting, what shoot 'em ups are. But yeah, at least it's a different one. Yeah, see, that's the problem. If I full jump through the platform, I cannot make it. But if I let it go before reaching up there, I don't see myself getting past the bottom spike. And I don't know, dude. Like, that last part looks so... Yeah, I know it's not a full jump, but doing anything that is not a full jump feels like it's not gonna make it. I mean, obviously you know that it will make it, but I don't feel like I can make it without a full jump. So far all of my attempts were a full jump. I guess if you confirm that it cannot be a full jump, I'll try not to. Like, the alternative doesn't seem possible. But yeah, I'll do it. Or rather, I'll try. An attempt will be made. Also pretty interesting that most of the choices for characters in these levels are Archons, except for Raiden. I have a feeling you don't like Raiden, which I don't blame you. He's a very shit character, honestly. But yeah. You don't have Raiden? Well, I mean, you don't need to have them to like a character. Well, I mean, I think every character I like, I do have it, but that's mostly that I've been playing since release, so... Or well, that I've been playing. That before I stopped playing, I've been playing since release. And I stopped playing like, what? Half a year ago, I think. So it's been a while, actually. But yeah, Raiden is just not a good character, in my opinion. I'm not talking about meta or anything like that. In fact, she is a good character meta-wise, but as a... Like, as far as the writing goes, she's a pretty shit character. I mean, they are a lot like Raiden, but yeah. Like, a character that essentially is supposed to be like a super important ruler, but she's an absolute moron. So yeah. Yeah, there are people here that are very loud with their motorcycles. It's just the way it is. Motorcycle users are the worst of the worst. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, what I could do is closing the window, but if I close the window, that's a good way to microwave myself with this heat. So yeah. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Motorcycle users are probably one of my less non-criminal people, less favorite non-criminal people. As far as non-criminal goes, I really think I hate them the most. Well, probably less than smokers. I think I hate smokers more. But yeah, motorcycle users are very close. Well, and then you have stuff like lawyers and journalists, but that's a different story. I think the thing about lawyers and journalists is that they don't affect me directly, while smokers and motorcycle drivers do affect me directly. So yeah, I think that in my hate scale they are higher. Well, I preemptively apologize if there's anyone here that is either a smoker or a motorcycle driver. But yeah, I probably will hate you. Nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. Surely there can be exceptions. Well, also when I say smoker, I specifically mean cigarette smoker. Well, I mean, it's mostly because I don't have to deal with other type of smokers, but yeah, cigarette smokers are very annoying. I mean, anyone that is not a smoker, I think, finds them annoying at some point. It depends on how close you live to them. In my case, I live very close to a smoker, so every time they decide to smoke, I can smell the smoke. And it sucks. Especially when you are eating. I mean, it sucks no matter what, but yeah. It is what it is. There you go. See, I just needed to talk shit about smokers. Man, fuck smokers. And then we have Fischl. Fischl, so this is essentially the first one that breaks the pattern of Archon. It's not Archon's, it's simply Echo's favorite character. And of course Fischl is a very good character, one of my favorite as well. Probably one of the best designs in the whole game as well. But yeah, and the typical laugh emote that she has. She thinks I still use her. Yeah, me too. Like before I stopped playing, I mean. I think that she was part of my team. She's just very useful. I wish she was better as a solo, as a main DPS, but you kinda just use her for Oz, which is her pet. The Fischl really is one of those designs that is so well done, because there are a lot of Genshin Impact designs that they don't really do much to me, in the sense that I can be like, yeah, it looks nice and that's it. But Fischl feels like the kind of character that she could be the protagonist of her own game. Like, to me, she's that well designed and that iconic. You know? I wish they would do that, but that's not the way it works. They wouldn't do something like that. If Fischl had its own spin-off, I probably would buy it. But yeah. Also, it doesn't seem like there's any gimmick here. Or rather, the gimmick is no gimmicks. So there is that. What if they add Fischl to Fortnite? That would be interesting, but I don't think so. I mean, the other day I was discussing with Drayno what character would consider me getting into Fortnite. And I think Miku is the only one, but as you can see, it wasn't enough. So I feel like the only thing that could tempt me enough to get into Fortnite is if they put a pack with all the Pia Pro characters, which is basically Miku, Rin, Len, Meiko, Luca, and Kaito. If they somehow manage to do that, it doesn't even have to be all of them. If they manage to put Luca and Meiko in, I probably will pull the trigger and actually not only download the game but also buy the skins. I'm still sad the Miku didn't suck you in. Yeah, I'm also mad that Miku doesn't suck me. No, I mean, yeah, it wasn't enough to play Fortnite, but don't worry. Maybe if they keep the Pia Pro character as some sort of deal, I will be very tempted. I mean, because it's not far-fetched to think of. They already did that with Dragon Ball, with Naruto, and with some other stuff that they added, you know. They added characters of the same franchise in different times. You know? What if they add a red Miku? I mean, the closest to a red Miku you have is Luca. Well, actually, no. I mean, I guess in terms of red, I think Meiko will be more fitting. I guess because of her outfit. So yeah, it will be that. You know? Like, if they add those characters and they put it in a pack, I really will be extremely tempted. So yeah, Luca and or Rin plus Miku, I feel like it will be a very hard sell. I will get sold on that immediately. And well, if you can add Meiko too, yeah, go for it. Just that Meiko is not that popular. Ironically, because she's the first Vocaloid. But Miku completely obliterated Meiko in terms of popularity. Okay. What? Unless... Oh, okay. Then you go there. Hold up. Full champ into full champ. Champ. I don't know if falling here will be... No, what am I doing? Of course it's not enough. Team, this is very fucked up. Okay, you're supposed to jump over this. Left, right. Full jump here. Okay, you might have gone a little bit overboard here as well, but... maybe I'm exaggerating. We will see. That's fucked up. Like the different color Mikus you sometimes see in fan games. No, that wouldn't be enough, because I think that the base Miku design is perfect as it is, so putting different colors wouldn't sway me. But yeah, putting different Vocaloids, it's a different story. I mean, they could also put, though I don't think it's a Pia Pro character, though it also does appear in some of the Project Diva games, which is Gumi. So if they somehow manage to do that, I could think about it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's harder to do, though. I mean, if they did it with Dragon Ball, they should be able to do it with with Vocaloids, especially because usually the Pia Pro characters always come in a pack in any game they are in. Like, if there is a game with more Vocaloids than just Miku, like, it's always that group of Seeds. So I don't think it will be hard to do. I mean, they are probably waiting for another time, because they know that they will probably be easy sales, so now they are banking on Miku alone, and then they will be banking on the rest. Or maybe not, and they never put a Vocaloid ever again. Hard to tell, but yeah. It will also be interesting if they put Teto in it. Teto is not a Vocaloid, technically. Most people still call it a Vocaloid anyway, so yeah. Differently from Vocaloid, I think she's supposed to be open source or whatever. Vocaloid is proprietary software. Yeah, she's supposed to be free. I wonder if this will be easier with keyboard. I could try. Problem is that every time that I switch peripherals, I need to change the controls. I mean, I have a script that allows me to immediately turn my preferred keyboard inputs into default inputs. Just that I don't have that script right now, so that wouldn't be possible. Okay, it will be ideal. Okay. Too early, man. I suck at drop jumps like that. I mean, I suck at them at my own game. You know? It's not like I suck at them here because I'm unfamiliar with the game or whatever, no. In my own game, I cannot do those jumps consistently. So yeah, pretty fucked up. I don't think this will be easier with keyboard, or maybe it will. I don't know, I feel too lazy to change, but then again, I will have to change eventually for the next screen that is Dendro and has binds. But yeah, if I switch here and it turns out it's not easier, will be a waste of time. Not to mention I also have to warm up with a controller to eventually play my fun game, because it's this Tuesday. I mean, I was planning to warm up with Shampoo Refractor, but if I can warm up with this game instead, that will be pretty cool too. I mean, I'm already warming up as it is. Really? Problem is that once you get to that item, those other jumps are so chokeable. They are not particularly hard, but they are very chokeable. Maybe I should do what I did last time. That I did to beat the Shio screen, which is talking shit about smokers. Will I talk shit about smokers? Promise that there is not much more I can say, aside that I just hate them. well, I could say, I could go on how annoying they are and all of that, but don't think it will make for an interesting topic. No, if it is enough to beat the screen, that will also be pretty nice. I don't know. Talk shit about vapors. Yeah, but vapors here are not very common. So I never got annoyed by a vapor because I barely met them in real life. You know? I mean, vaping, I also think it's way more expensive than smoking, so unless you go to a rich neighborhood, you're not gonna see people vaping here. So, as much as I would like to, I don't even know what to say. Because, yeah, they are not a problem for me. I mean, those two examples that I mentioned, which are smoker and motorcycle users, those I can talk shit about them because they bother me every single day. But yeah, vapors, I don't really think I ever met one in real life. Maybe only once on the street, but it was whatever. I never really had to suffer one in my house or in a stationary place. So yeah. I mean, it's the same as stoners, and I mean literal stoners. Usually people that smoke weed here only do it in like the street, so they never tend to bother me when I'm in a stationary place, only if I go outside and at a very specific place. Okay, aside from that, they don't bother me. I mean, if I had a neighbor that was a stoner, I probably would be talking shit about them too. But yeah, I don't. Okay. That's a shame. Like, that wasn't enough. The first one, I don't know if it's a full champ. Because I think that this one being a full champ or not does change the outcome of this quite a lot. Or maybe it doesn't. No, it wouldn't change the outcome, I think. So yeah, I'm just gonna make this a full champ, and then the idea is to champ as early as you can here. And well, then it's also the same here, but it's champing early without bonking your head against the platform you just fell from. And then on the last one it's the same logic, it's just that it's a lot further away. Well, we will see. What was I gonna say? I got distracted by that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I remember. Essentially, of all the self-harming vices that people have, the most annoying one is the cigarettes. Because it's the one that is the most widespread here. And also one of the most damaging ones as well. Because it's not just damaging for the person that smokes. I mean, I don't give a shit, you can die for all I care, but it's damaging for whoever is unfortunate enough to be next to a smoker as well. So that's the reason why I hate them the most. Because people that drink beer, or that are alcoholic, because you can drink beer and not be alcoholic. People that are alcoholic only do damage to themselves. I guess it depends on what they do afterwards though. But it tends to be something that doesn't involve like you, if you live close to one, usually. And then, you know, people that do other type of self-harm vices also tend to just do it to themselves. So smokers, you were complimenting my impeccable gameplay. I was surely doing that. Of course. But you know, it's as I say, every time I talk shit about something, it's like my gaming senses get enhanced. You know? I mean, it feels like when you blow off steam talking shit about what bothers you, is when you feel alive. You feel alive? Because me, as much as I would like to go to the smoker apartment and tell them, hey, why don't you grab that little cigarette you're holding and shove it deep down your ass? As much as I would like doing that, I cannot do that. So the only way I can blow off steam is talking shit about them. You know? It's scientifically proven that talking about messed up subjects make you play better at games. And I have a lot of messed up subjects that I would like to talk about. It's just that some of them are not a good idea to discuss them on Twitch. Some of them will really not be a good idea. But yeah, there are a lot of very interesting topics. Topics that some could have very controversial opinions. But yeah, I mean, if I was a channel that was a just chatting channel and the main thing was giving my opinions about topics, I guess I would try doing it, but it's a channel about video games, so it's not worth risking my channel for having a controversial opinion that has nothing to do with video games, you know. Also, that didn't work either, that last champ. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Is it still too late on the double champ? And thanks for the bot comment, Draynor, I appreciate it. No, but Draynor is already a bot. It's just that I forbid him from using his bot in my channel. But he actually has a bot called Draybot. He talks some shit. But yeah, since I absolutely hate bots, I asked him to not use it in my chat. Though he still uses it in my chat to train. I don't mind that. But yeah, I don't like hearing bots reading bots speak. I really don't. Oh yeah. It will never become a bot. Surely. Okay. Yeah, but see, that's something that Draynor could say, and he will be more or less right. But I don't know about you, Punker. Don't think I remember seeing you like 5 years ago. I mean, I don't mind, but I'm just saying that Draynor can say that phrase, and he will be right. Well, half right. He still wasn't here from the very, very beginning, but no one was, because the one person that used to watch my very first streams is stopped coming a very, very long time ago. So, yeah. Since the beginning of this stream, okay, yeah, that will be right, actually. Correct. That will be factual and correct. You are right. But yeah. I think that Draenor is probably one of the oldest ones that is here. What did you stream at first? The first game that I streamed was Mega Man 11 when it came out, essentially. How is it going, Wasabi? Then after Mega Man 11 was done, I essentially played a lot of Touhou and Danmaku games in general, but mostly Touhou. And then... well, at some point I played I Wanna Be the Guy and Fun Games, so I also played a lot of that too. But basically at some point I just started playing very... like a variety of games that have nothing to do with each other, which is what I'm doing up until this day. But at the beginning it was Mega Man 11 and then Touhou, pretty much. I still never fix the thing that can summon the bot in this chat. It's alright. Nobody knows how to summon it anyways. I mean, except for you. But yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the first people that used to watch me used to be my co-workers. Yeah, summon doesn't work, but good try. No, my coworkers tend to be the first people that watch me. So also none of them really watch anymore. I mean, there is one of them that might lurk in some I Wanna Be the Guy streams, but I don't know. He doesn't speak English either. But yeah. Those were essentially like my first viewers. Well, in fact, one of my first viewers, as I always say, is the girl that drew my avatar. Essentially. Yeah, she didn't watch very often. Yeah, that doesn't work either. You cannot summon it. Wrong body username? You think so? But yeah. Dre both? No. That's also not the name. Drainboat is in the users list. No, but he's always in the users list. Nice. That was also a motorcycle, by the way. That sounded like a gunshot, but no, it was a motorcycle. So now you understand why I hate motorcycles, right? Like, you understand why I wish that every time I hear something like that, instead of just being the exhaust of the motorcycle, I wish it was the engine blowing up with them on top of it. Unfortunately, it's not the case. It's quite a shame. A missed opportunity, but yeah. Unfortunately, it's just the exhaust. But it's fine. Maybe one day the stars will smile and grant me my wish of getting rid of motorcycles, or well, whatever you call them. But yeah, it won't happen. Because those are people that don't learn. You can tell them about it and they won't care. You can make it illegal, and I'm pretty sure it is illegal to like have loud engines like that, and they still don't learn. So the only way for them to learn is to learn the hard way. So yeah, maybe one day they will. but I don't think they do. It's fine, don't worry about it. Also, before that distracted me. Yes, Draybot is constantly in the stream because he's constantly scanning the chat. He's constantly learning. So he's always in the user list because he's always lurking. But yeah, to make him talk, you cannot. Only Draynod knows. Is it like Anib? I don't know who Anib is, but it's a bot that simply uses a Markov algorithm that what it essentially does is it learns strings of words to then repeat later to make it seem that it's saying coherent sentences. Yeah, Draynod put some more functionalities in it. Anib is a bot that basically does that. Yeah, Draynod basically hosts that himself. Well, he coded it himself as well. Nice. Okay. Next up is Dendro with Nahida. I personally wouldn't say Nahida is my favorite Dendro. In terms of visual design, I guess she is. In terms of a character or how she behaves, she's definitely not. But yeah, hold up. I need to change to keyboard. Doing this with gamepad will be a problem. So let me change the keys real quick. A, S, double, no, D, and here S. There we go. Okay, let's get into it. So, it should be a lot easier to do this with keyboard, there is no doubt. Anything bind related is. There is a certain command that triggers the bot only I know. Yeah, I know. But yeah, these people don't. They don't know. Also, what's the deal with that? I mean, that probably has a setup, but I don't know what setup that is. Not holding right there. Do you actually want me to do that corner champ? Are you that evil, Echo? You wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't actually make me do a corner champ, right? Right? No way. You wouldn't do that. It's a masterful setup. Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't have any idea of knowing what setup this is, if there is a setup. Because holding right doesn't work. So it has to be something else. So what would that something else be? I mean, I can do it normally, but I'm pretty sure you're not intended to do that. I don't see any other wall. If you do a 4... I don't think you were talking seriously, probably. I'm just gonna assume you are joking. But yeah. Yeah, he's probably just kidding, don't worry about that. But I'm still curious to see what this is, because doing this the intended way is an absolute pain in the ass, but like any corner champ is. That setup does work. Yeah, at that point I think that doing the corner normally will probably be a better idea. Personally, if you ask me. So, what's the setup? Echo. I mean, if it's doing what I'm doing right now, that's not something that I can consistently do, which wouldn't make it a setup, I feel. So there has to be another way, right? Surely. I don't know. Hard to tell. What you're doing right now wastes your double jump if you look ahead. Yeah, but I mean, I already tried to hold right and it doesn't work. I mean, like, you want me, like, okay. Yes, I understand what you say. You need a double jump here. That's understandable. But I cannot hold right on the wall above the spike. So I don't know what setup you are supposed to do here. Unless you mean that the corner is supposed to be done normally. Which could be the case. After the first jump, full jump through the diagonal and back. Then you can hold right on the corner. That seems pretty hard to do. I mean, thanks for telling me, but that seems like it will be harder than doing the... Like, yeah, I did it there, but at that point wouldn't it be easier to just do the corner normally? Maybe not, I don't know. I mean, that did work, but... Yeah, I guess I could try it. Okay, that worked, thanks. But it's obviously not over yet. So, this is full jump into full jump into, well, a precise bind jump into this platform. Okay, then what? You make this jump? Doesn't look possible. Is this jump possible? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this... Is this jump possible? But it... Or do you want me to jump here? Oh, you probably want me to jump here and use the bind jump and then a double jump to get here. Then that's a pain in the ass to do. I try making a quirky setup never seen before. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I gotta reuse Divine, that's what I assume. It's very hard to do though. I mean, anything Vine related is very hard. Do you listen to the music in the VOD after the stream? I mean, normally I do, but I already saw Echo play this game. And well, more than seeing, I listened to him playing this game, so... I already know what songs to expect. And I mean, they are Genshin Impact songs, so... they are not really my cup of tea either, so don't really mind not listening to them. It's fine. I mean, the thing is that Genshin Impact music, the songs that I like are boss songs. Like songs like Rage Beneath the Mountains, which is like one of the weekly bosses. Well, then the Scaramouche boss fight as well. Like, those songs, I like them. Usually the ones that are simply about trailers or about just going in the overworld, I don't really care. The weekly bosses songs tend to be pretty good. Well, the Storm Terror weekly boss is also cool. It's the first one in the game. I like those. All of the other ones, not really. Or rather, I guess that they are good as background music, but not the kind of thing I would listen on my own. I mean, ironically, the music that I tend to listen to, I don't like it when it's supposed to be background music. Like, I like music that is intense, usually. I mean, intense not necessarily, because when you think of intense, you might think of heavy metal or something. No, I don't mean that. I mean just songs that have like a very relatively fast melody. Like very relatively, because yeah, when you hear that you can be like, oh, you're a fan of speedcore. No, I hate speedcore. No, it's just, you know, just to give you an idea, my favorite music genre is Eurobeat. So basically, yeah, use that information as you want. That's essentially the case. But in terms of video game music, it's songs that have, you know, not slow melodies. I like when there are like 2 or 3 notes per second. But I guess also I like when the BPM is relatively high. Again, relatively, because speedcore is not my thing. And this is gonna be so hard to do, dude. All these screens are so hard. And to think that Echo beat this in like 2 attempts on stream. Like, I'm still far from getting this far, but wanna check. Once I get here, it's Champ. You want to kinda hold the Champ button. You hold left, then right, then left immediately to get here. And then you need to fall all the way down here. Probably, yeah, keeping your Champ, so that means that you need to bonk your head here to fall down. You hold right and then left. Okay. This is hard. Like, you know, the fact that Echo can obliterate screens like this that easily is also part of the reason why I got so shocked when he played my fan game and he struggled with a lot of screens that I didn't. Like, It's one of those things that very... it's developer bias. From the cherry, it's a walk-off. Oh, because you don't need to hold. Since you're not gonna be going to bind champ, you can just hit the champ button here. So bonk will probably work, right? I think. Right? I mean, it will be harder, I guess, since you will be slightly higher by the time you get to this spike, but... yeah, they both work. Okay, if you say that it's a walk-off champ, I'll do a walk-off. Bonk will make it so you can't hold left. Oh, because... no bonk works with 4 blocks like that. Well, I don't know about that, but... yeah, I guess that since now I've been told to not bonk, I will not bonk. It even works for a corner. Well, thankfully there are no well, there is a corner here, but not on that champ. Damn, this is gonna be so hard to do. Not to mention you have to do it twice, dude. That's such a big pain in the ass. Four blocks only works for a diagonal, 2 blocks is corner. Sure. I mean, I cannot say one or the other because I don't know, so... oh, you say that the 4 block bond works for a corner. Okay. I don't think Echo would have put a corner there, right? I mean, not like what I'm seeing looks much better, but... yeah. It's okay. It's fine. Contrary to what I thought, I don't think I can beat this game today. I just think there is no way. I think that it just might not be possible. Damn it. It's fine. At least it allowed me to warm up a little bit with gamepad. I guess one of the things I wanted to do before Tuesday I did. Yeah, I mean, it's not like playing keyboard completely makes you reset your gamepad skills. It doesn't work that way. But yeah. This one just looks hard. So you can theoretically not even land on that platform. Well, you probably want to. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't think we're getting to the next character. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I want to think what my favorite characters of each element are. Like, well, starting in the same order that this game, well, this game and Genshin does. For Anemo, who will be my favorite Anemo character? I mean, I could say Kazuha, but no, what am I saying? Xiao, of course. I forgot Xiao. I forgot one of my favorite characters existed. That's pretty sad. Oops. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really played him that much. Like, before I stopped streaming, because he wasn't streaming. Before I stopped playing the game, because he's not a very good character. Like, you need a very specific setup with him to make him work, so didn't really use him. He will be my favorite Anemo character. Then for Shio, well, it's obviously Ito. There is no doubt about it. Ito without an ounce of doubt. For Electro, I think it is Fischl, also without an ounce of doubt. Yeah, it has to be Fischl. I don't think there's any other Electro character I really care about. I mean, I'm trying to remember, but I mean, there is Lisa, but I prefer Fischl more. For Dendro, I mean, as I say, I like Nahida's design. I don't like her personality, though. What other Dendro character exists? You have Collei, that I don't really like. Baisu, that I also don't like. Well, you have Kirara. I do like that character, yeah. Yeah, I guess I could say that's my favorite Dendro. What other characters do you have? Yao, yeah, I don't really care about her either. Fuck. Yeah, I think that's it, right? I mean, no, you have a lot of other Dendro characters. I mean that the ones I more or less care about will be those, so... I think for Dendro I will pick Kirara. The two-tailed cat. The Alhazen. That's one of my most hated characters, so yeah. No thank you. No thank you. Alhazen can stay with his boyfriend. I personally don't want him. Well, his boyfriend is also Dendro, right? I also don't like him either. I mean, I dislike them both. They are just very unlikable. They just have very unlikable personalities. I think his name was Kave, the one I'm talking about. Like, Kave is just... Like, if that sort of personality went to a character that was, like, canonically strong or whatever, I guess it would be cool. But it's a wimpy attitude in a wimpy character, so I don't really care. And Alhazen is just an asshole, so I cannot like him. So yeah. Unfortunately, those two... I don't. I will have to stay with Kirara, personally. But yeah, Nahida, in terms of design, I will pick Nahida, but in terms of personality, it has to be Kirara. What else do we have? Hydro. Well, Hydro is easy, Kokomi. Very clearly and also without doubt, this is my favorite Hydro character. There is no doubt whatsoever. Net's Element. Net's Element is... Pyro. For Pyro, I mean, no, I know. I almost fucked up the answer. I was about to say Xiangling, no. I almost forgot about my favorite character. It's just that she's a character that barely feels like Pyro because she's just deals damage on her own, which is Klee. That's my favorite Pyro character. Like, and essentially my I will say second favorite character in the game after Ito. So yeah, I will be Klee for Pyro. And for Cryo, I mean, I will be tempted to say Ayaka, but what other Cryo characters are there? You have Kaeya, Shenhe. Tim, I really... Dendro I mean, Cryo completely escaped my mind. Chi-Chi? Yeah, I don't like Chi-Chi too much, honestly. But yeah, she is indeed Cryo. Let me think. Well, there is Ryo that is in this game. Ryo is Ekko's favorite. I don't like Ryo at all. So yeah, unfortunately, not for me. I think I'm just very tied between Ayaka and Shenhe. One of those two. I don't know which one I will pick. See, the thing about Ayaka is that, you know, I love her as a character and as a design, and also if I actually committed to her build, she's very good as a DPS. Though it requires more effort than other DPS, but then you have Shenhe that is just a very funny character. She basically is absolutely unhinged. She's unfiltered. Like, she shit talks people with zero filter. And well, also her visual design is very... for a character that it's supposed to be all about cold, she's very hot. But yeah, I don't know which one I will pick between the two. I don't know. I will probably just instinctively go for Ayaka. So yeah, I will probably pick Ayaka. I think that will be my pick. But yeah, essentially, the only character we have in common as a favorite is Fischl. And well, Nahida kinda, but only as a design. As a visual design. Good luck with needle things. How is it going low poly? Yeah, I'm kinda stuck here. You know that I'm not a fan of binds, so a screen like this is very hard for me. But it's fine. It happens. Yeah. Good screen to learn them. I don't think I need to learn binds, you know? It's not a matter of I don't know what to do, or well, you can say that there are some setups I don't know, but I just extremely hate binds. It's, to me, the worst mechanic that ever made it to I Wanna Be The Guy, and unfortunately it's been here since the original. I cannot even complain about being a gimmick that is very specific. No, it's part of the main thing. So I absolutely loathe binds. Yeah, the corner setup is nice. I mean, I didn't know it, so if he hadn't told me about it, I would still be trying to do the corner normally. How could anyone hate binds? Well, I certainly hate binds. I mean, I think that they are a buggy mechanic that it feels extremely shitty to play as, or play with, I guess. Like, it's just a mechanic that, I don't know, like, I don't think I can say much more than it feels like shit to play. Like, I could I don't know, try to use more words, but that's basically it. I just hate the way Vines play. Like, I mean, I can use an argument actually of an observation I had with Vines. There was someone that didn't know the idea, like in a playthrough of one of the Needle games I played on the YouTube comments. I essentially made the typical champ reservation that you do in Vines, which is that you hold the champ button, you do the Vine champ by moving, and then you double champ once you need to. Well, that's something that the guy that was asking me, like, he was commenting on YouTube, didn't understand, because he was like, wait, how do you do that additional champ? And because he thought, as any person that first encountered this shitty ass mechanic, that you are supposed to press the champ button in the wall. No, you're not supposed to do that, because this mechanic is trash. Instead, you are supposed to hold the direction you are facing to, and then tap the opposite direction. As if that was something that is, you know, that is something that anyone can just figure out. But yeah, I mean, you can figure out eventually after trial and error, but it has no logic, especially when you compare it to almost any game with wall champs. Like, obviously any game, I mean any commercial game, not fun games. Any commercial game with wall champs, none of them work like this. Maybe, yeah, one of them might have a mechanic like this, but no. I find them so versatile and rewarding. No, I mean, in terms of preferences, anyone has preferences. And, you know, just like a lot of people like this, I absolutely hate them. So, you know, just one of those things that, as I say, it's an unnatural mechanic. It just feels like a bug, you know? Also, I don't know if you're hearing that horn. I hope not. But if you're hearing it, there's nothing I can do. Basically, okay, it stopped now. But yeah, basically, you hear it. It's there. It's fine. It stopped now. Basically, that's the typical alarm that sounds on a car when someone gets nearby and is trying to alert. That's also another thing that I absolutely hate. Car alarms are such a shitty ass invention. It wouldn't be as bad if there weren't people that leave their car at the garage and they don't turn the alarm off. So even just a fly going past the car triggers the alarm, and the owner is not there to turn it off. So a lot of times you have to wait until the car runs out of battery for the alarm to stop. Like, can you believe that? And sometimes, I mean, that usually happens in like, what, 8 hours? So if someone leaves a car at a garage and they didn't turn the alarm off and they get triggered, the alarm gets triggered, you have to deal with that shit for the rest of the night. And it already happened multiple times in my case. It's a nightmare. And in my case, I don't mean that I left the car, I don't have a car, but like I heard people leaving the alarm on and trying to sleep under those conditions. It's impossible. Car bomb. Well, we had one of those in Capital City in the year 2000. At the beginning of the 2000s. There essentially was a terrorist with a bomb car that went straight against a synagogue. But yeah, that was like one of our worst terrorist act that we suffer. Well, one of the worst and one of the only ones, thankfully, but it unfortunately happened. I mean, it's kind of like our equivalent of the 9/11. Less people die though. I mean, compared to 9/11, it's nothing, but yeah, a lot of people died. And yeah, it is what it is. But ever since then, we don't really have terrorist attacks. We do have thieves and very violent ones. So you can say that those are micro-terrorism attacks on their own, but yeah, an actual target terrorist attack like that one, we only, for what I remember at least, we only had one. Though we only had one, depending on what you categorize a terrorist attack. In the 70s, I think, we were government, like our government was a military government, it was a dictatorship. And the people that tried to protest against the dictators were essentially like guerrilla fighters. So they did like micro-terrorism attacks by like leaving bombs on a trash can, for example. So we had that too. That was again, you can label it as a terrorist attack, but it was essentially fighting against a dictatorship. So one of those things that you could say, I mean, justifying violence is not good, but one of those cases where you're fighting violence with violence, because the dictatorship we had was very bad. But yeah. Aside from that, yeah, there was that one car bomb that blew up next to a synagogue. Or at least I think it was a synagogue. Maybe it was something else. No, I'm pretty sure it was that. I don't remember, honestly. But yeah. It is what it is. That was almost 20 years ago. Well, not almost. That was more than 20 years ago, actually. And thankfully, ever since then, we hadn't had another one of those. And hopefully, we don't have another one of those. But yeah. I mean, it was one of the few cases where an international group had bad blood with us. That's not really the case anymore, though. I don't think any international group really gives a shit about this country, thankfully. Yeah, we are kinda off the scope of, you know, of bad actors. Back then, there was some very... what's the word? Well, I was not sketchy. I mean, you can say sketchy, but there was a lot of very dirty stuff happening, like with the government and some other stuff. But yeah, that's not the case anymore. I mean, we do have right now a president that loves talking shit to completely unprovoked groups. But I don't think it will get as bad as that, hopefully. I don't know. Also, I don't see myself beating this screen, unfortunately. On an unrelated note, yeah. I don't see myself getting past this champ. And even if I get past this champ, it's not even close to be the last one. Like, this looks so hard. I don't know if I will say that it looks harder than Shio. Maybe it does, it's hard to tell. Like, as I said, I absolutely hate binds. Like, I really hate them with all my might, so... I don't know. It might just be my hatred getting in the way. Yeah, I am on keyboard. Yeah, doing this with gamepad will be even more fucked up. Doing this with gamepad will already have made me quit, probably. Because I probably wouldn't even get past these first two binds. So yeah. I am in keyboard, so I'm essentially playing as optimally as I can. I mean, as optimally for me, obviously. Yeah, there is a little bit of a limit to my skill, even if I use the best peripheral in this situation. Just a little bit too hard. Like, the fucked up thing here is that you're supposed to make it back. Like, already making this jump the first time is hard. You're supposed to do it from the very bottom of this bind. But then you're supposed to do this jump again, which also requires quite some zigzagging. And then also wait until the very end. And then also somehow ace this double jump. And then you have more bullshit later, but... Like, it's so fucked up. Like, this whole screen is so fucked up. I mean, if you're good with binds, this probably is not that big of a deal for you. For someone like me, this is extremely hard. Like, this reminds me of that other game that I was... Well, that I'm still playing, I guess, in the sense that it's still not beaten, which is I wanna best the 100 floors. Like, this is the sort of reason why that game is so hard for me. This type of platforming is the absolute antithesis of what I can do well. Like, this very precise type of jumps, especially with binds in them, are so messed up for me. They really are. I didn't even get the vine there. But yeah. I will be surprised if I manage to beat this screen today. Will be very surprised. But hey, we will see. Maybe we're gonna get surprised. It's also very fucked up. Like, I don't understand how you beat a game like this in 7 minutes, dude. I get that you are the maker, but I just cannot even see myself being close to that. Even if I manage to beat this screen, I don't see myself beating it again quickly. This is not a matter of knowing what to do, it's full execution. It has nothing to do with knowledge checks. This is full execution. Well, yes, this is a knowledge check, and I guess so is this one, and this one as well, but I already know them. Like, because I've been told, obviously. But like, since the knowledge checks are no longer an issue, it only comes down to execution. And the execution here is too much for me. So I don't understand how you can beat this in 7 minutes, like the whole thing. in 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes for the whole game is insane, I agree. But, I mean, as I say, I understand he's the maker and everything, but like, I wouldn't be able to beat my own game. Not in 7 minutes, because it would be literally impossible, even if I beat everything on the first try, but like, beating everything on the first try or close to the first try is something that I cannot do even with my own game. As much as I can say that, like, yeah, you're beating this fast because it's your own game, I cannot do the same thing with my game. Even if I can probably beat it faster than most people that just started playing it, the point is that I wouldn't be able to do it that fast, not even close. So yeah, ironically, Opanker is so far I mean, he hasn't cleared my fan game yet, but if he actually goes if he goes to finish it, it will be the fastest clear, faster than me, and a lot faster than me as well. Oh yeah. It's interesting. I think that my PV for my fan game, well, my PV, calling it PV is a little bit stupid because it implies I tried it multiple times, but essentially beat it in 9 hours when I tested it. Maybe a little bit more than 9 hours, maybe 9 hours and a half. So, yeah. One of those things. And if I can manage to do that again, that will take 3 streams. Well, taking it 3 streams will be ideal, but I don't know. It could also take more than that. It would be nice if it didn't take more than that, though. Especially because it's a game that I already know what to expect. So it's not like there will be any surprises. It will be all streams where I know exactly what to do. I mean, it's literally a game I already beat, and obviously. So it would essentially be like replaying it, just that it's replaying it on stream, where other people can see it. It will be interesting. But yeah, hopefully it takes me 3 streams. But at most it should take me 4. If it somehow takes me more than 4, that means that something went very wrong. I cannot imagine which screen will get me stuck for that long, but I mean, the screens at the end have the potential of doing that. I'm at 8.5 hours and like halfway through Zone 9. I think I might have lost the pace. Yeah, I guess in that case you will actually take longer to beat it, but the real test, because when I tested it, I did it in between some nerfs and stuff like that, so I don't know if it's exactly 9 hours or it's a different number, so I think the only way to actually know is by playing it on stream. Like that time, we not only are gonna be able to see it clearly, but also you will have a timer that is not the in-game time, so we will be talking about real-time use. So when I stream it, we will be able to see exactly what my actual time is. There are some screens on the final zone that are very fucked up, that are even fucked up to me. Because there are some other screens that were fucked up for some players, but they weren't fucked up for me. But I do admit that the ones on the last zone are even fucked up for me. Which is intended, it's supposed to be the last zone after all. But... well, I hope they are not too fucked up for you, Opanker. I know that you are used to a lot of fucked up shit, but... I just hope that they don't frustrate you too much. But I think that at this point you should build a natural resistance to hard fun games. Zone 9 is hard but has been really good. Nice, I'm glad you like it. I mean, the thing is that my fun game is something that for someone to enjoy it fully, like you... I don't want to say you gotta be very good at fun games, because I will essentially be saying that Echo isn't, which will be very false. But like, you will have to have a very big bullshit resistance to fully enjoy my fun game, I feel. And Opanker, I do know that has a very high bullshit resistance. I don't know if it's enough to make him enjoy the whole thing, but hey, I know that it can be enough at least to allow him to beat it. And he will be actually the third clear so far. Well, not counting myself, obviously. So far we have Echo and Norton, which are the first and the second clear respectively. Well, and Echo surprisingly liked Zone 8 a lot, so it's the kind of thing that it's just very hard to predict. Like, Zone 8, I thought it was a zone that no one would like. Like, I thought that it would be a gimmick that it would be lame for most people. Seems that it was the opposite. Zone 8 was quite enjoyed, so I'm glad about that. At least for the two people that got there. Don't know what you thought about Zone 8, Opanker. But at least I do know that Echo and Norton did like Zone 8, so I'm glad about that. Because I really think it wasn't gonna be like... I mean, I didn't expect Zone 6 that it would essentially be the most disliked one. I thought that was gonna be the most inoffensive one, since it used regular champ refreshers. But I guess I ended making the design of some screens a little bit too fucked up without knowing. But I think that Zone 6 is the most disliked one. It's alright. Really? Zone 8 was great, but the champ refresher gimmick sometimes hit your invincibility when you're holding against a block and going up. Yeah, it happened to me too. Unfortunately, I had no clue how to deal with that. Like, that is something I noticed, and I'm surprised Echo or Norton didn't notice it. Or maybe they noticed it and they didn't think it was a big deal, but that is something I tried to fix and I couldn't. I left it like that because that was only something that can happen a lot in like 2 screens. Like, essentially, in the second screen is the one screen that it can happen the most. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, I cannot fix this. I have no clue how to fix this. So instead of that, I'm gonna try to make the other screens in that zone rely less on wall hug champs. And I guess it more or less work, I guess. I mean, it's not ideal. You obviously will prefer fixing that, but I have no clue how to. And you will be like, well, you made the gimmick, you should know. And you will be right, I should know. But I don't. I guess I'm not smart enough. I think you could make it not cut your invincibility if the kill vertical speed is negative. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea actually. Because I tested a bunch of stuff that ended up either extending the invincibility when the kid landed, so like it was possible to land for like a pixel in a platform and not die, which is something I didn't like. But I don't know if I tried what you are suggesting. Actually, I think I did. And I think it didn't work because I think the engine detects the speed to not be negative. Like, it detects it to be equal. Like, I don't know what's happening like inside the engine, but for what I understand, the engine thinks you are landing, and it's the reason why it thinks you died, because it really thinks you, for some reason, are on top of a platform. Why? I don't know, because if I knew why, it wouldn't be happening, but I think I did try what you mentioned, because I'm trying to think. It's been like a couple months, so I don't remember super well, but I think I tried that and some other things, and they just did not work, so yeah. Essentially, I tried to hide it as much as I could by, after the second screen, not really have you do that. Like hugging the wall, I mean. But yeah. Ideally, I should have been able to fix it, but I couldn't. Because essentially, the way those gimmicks work is not like I made the gimmick from scratch, in the sense that I made the whole code that involves the gimmick from scratch. It's essentially modifying slightly the way the code that already exists on the engine works. So essentially, what you do is, if the power-up is active and you interact with a killer, which in this game, in my game, is only spikes, if that happens, you don't get killed. But when you land, the power-up effect goes away. So that logic behind getting hit and landing is the stuff that is already there in the engine. Obviously, it's the basic logic of the engine. So essentially, all I did is add conditions on top of that. But unfortunately, for the engine, apparently that thing where you hug the wall is considered landing. Again, I don't know why, but yeah, I unfortunately couldn't do much. So yeah, sorry about that. It's one of the only things in the game that I can say that, you know, well, not the only one, because there is also something later that I don't want to spoil you, but basically there is something that has a hitbox that is bigger than the sprite. I also don't know how, because it shouldn't be the case. It's also not that big of a problem, thankfully, but because I mean, if it was a big problem, I would have detected it earlier. But yeah, those two things, I feel sorry about not being able to fix them. Well, I also feel sorry about Opunker having bad performance in some screens. That's also something I don't know how to fix, but yeah, those are things that even if I wanted to fix, I wouldn't know how. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, judging by some playthroughs, those are pretty far from being the biggest offenders of the game. There are a lot of screens that cause a lot of frustration. And as I say, mostly the screens on Zone 6 that made both Draenor and Echo struggle a lot. And unintentionally, because I didn't make them to be that hard. But yeah, it is what it is. I still don't really think of doing... I mean, something that I'm sure about is that I'm not gonna modify what is there in terms of balance. If I do anything, it will be adding difficulties, but I want to leave that main base difficulty completely intact. But at the same time, I feel like I don't really wanna bother doing other difficulties, really. I don't think I care that much. As much as I would want to, but I simply don't think I care that much about that game. I mean, to care that much outside of what I already did. Like, I feel like what I did, I wanna leave it as it is. And I'm happy with it. I mean, not extremely happy because, as I said, I didn't intend for it to be that hard, but I also think that when a game is already released, unless it's a technical issue, it should stay like that, because it's already part of the game's identity, I feel. Even if it's not an identity I would like, I feel like the game is its own thing right now, you know? It's kind of like when you have a kid. Yeah, at some point you want to probably have them go a specific path, or at least to steer far from some paths you consider bad. But at some point, you know, your kid is its own person. So at some point they stop being your responsibility, but more importantly, they do what they wanna do. And in my case, I feel that when a game is finished, it's already its own thing, and I wouldn't feel good about modifying it. I mean, I say that because it's a fun game with no profit, no intended profit, obviously, because it's free. But like the point is that if it was something for money, maybe I will be more interested in making it more appealing. But since it's something that it's purely a personal project for the sake of it, I think that once it's done, it should be left as it is. And well, whether some people like it or not, it's not something I can control, but I wouldn't want to change it. Also, I made it here, can you believe that? I barely can believe that. But this champ looks so fucking hard, dude. Like, probably gonna even die to, like this, to walk off the spike. Wouldn't be surprised, but... well, die to the one on top, which is not much better, but... I guess it is better, at least it was an attempt. But like, this thing is fucked. You're supposed to jump here without hitting any of this. Then you slide off. The timing to hold right here is very short. And I don't know how low you're supposed to go to not hit these mini spikes, but I will assume that you cannot be that low because you're supposed to make it all the way up here, and that's very high. I think that you might be able to double jump around here, but still feels quite high. Not to mention that maybe if you do it too early, aside from hitting this mini spike, maybe it's even possible to hit these spikes up here. And then, assuming you get there, which is already super fucked up as it is, you fall off, and then you do a couple of zigzag movements into a jump, into a vine jump, that are both very chokeable, so yeah. That's the reason why I say I don't think I can beat this screen today. Just feels like it's on another level. Wow. It's fine. I mean, what matters here is that at least I got a new PV. I think that's gonna be my PV for a while. It's not only will be hard to replicate to get that far, it will also be hard to get further than that. We will see. But yeah. Let me know, Punker, whenever you manage to beat my game. I'm interested simply to add it to my mental list of people that I know that beat the game. Will be the third one. I mean, so far it's very easy to follow. Maybe at some point that list is gonna become too big, but I kinda doubt it. So since it's probably not gonna happen, I don't think that it will be hard to remember everyone that can beat it. But if anything, I think the only other one that is probably gonna beat it is Draenoth. Because Draenor, I know he can beat it, but it will all depend on if he wants to. And the thing is that he struggled in some screens, that there are some other screens later that he's gonna struggle even more. And I can imagine that the motivation to beat the game at that point might not be very high. So yeah, I don't know. All I know is that at most, seems that we will have 4 clears. And that's easy to remember. Remembering 4 names should be easy. Even remembering the order of the 4 names should be easy. I mean, I don't think it will be easy to forget about the fact that Echo was the first clear. So we already have something that seems unforgettable. And then after that, it's just a couple more. So, you know, there is not that much hard drive in my brain that is required to save that. So I think I will remember it well. So we will see, because it's pretty easy to say that you're gonna remember something when you are starting to store it in your brain. The real test is when years pass, if you still remember it at that point. Will you? I don't know. I mean, will I is the question. I feel like it was a miracle to get this jump before. I don't know if I can replicate it. It's fine. Pretty nice to see Nahida being like so expectant to see you beat the screen. It's a shame. You can keep waiting. Yeah, you're gonna beat the screen, aren't you? I don't know, Nahida. I think I have bad news for you. You need to remember it for when you are required to name all the clears of your game to save your life. Well, that will mean that I think that if anyone cares about that, it will be one of the people that clear it. So I wonder who will point a gun in my head and tell me to say all the clears. Which one will it be? I don't think Norton will do that. Doesn't seem like the kind of person that will do that. Echo, I don't know. You know that Echo is a sweetheart until you play his games. Echo is all sun and rainbows until you play one of his games and you realize that the reason why he's all sun and rainbows is because he uses all of his evil energy to make fun games. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Echo, the one with the gun pointing. Well, then there's also Draenor. Draenor will be capable of doing that. It's just that at the end of it, he will be like, I was just kidding, bro. Like, he has a real charge gun, and he's like, I was just kidding. Yeah, I can imagine that being the case too. But I can imagine it being Draenor that will do that. Not me. Yeah, I don't think you will do it either. Because you are probably used to way worse fun games than that, so... What are you saying about me? Oh, nothing. No, I'm not saying anything. I don't know what you are thinking. I think that you might be hearing things. Maybe you should take your meds. But yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. I mean, I would be more worried if Echo heard what I said about him. Hopefully not. Yeah, don't worry. Pay no mind. It was just the wind. The voices that you heard were just the wind. But don't ya worry. Instead, I should be worrying about the screen. I mean, it's not like I'm not, but... See, there is a very common mistake I'm doing here. I'm pressing right twice, because it's pretty hard to play it. Press it for a very small amount of time, which is what you need for this champ. But pressing it for little is so hard to do. So I end up pressing it twice a lot of times because of that. Because it's a very small tap. That was too low. But yeah. Man, I can't believe Nahida is gonna filter me. Is it because I say I don't like you as a character? I mean, I don't. For being an Archon, you are a moron. Sorry to tell you that, but... Yeah. I mean, the other Archons are... Most of them are just as stupid as you, so... You shouldn't feel too bad about it. Yeah. You're still dumb. You're dumb. I mean, it's okay to be dumb. Promise that you are dumb and you're an Archon. You're in a high position of authority and yet you are still dumb. So that's dangerous. You know? That's very dangerous. But yeah, sorry Nahida, I know that with what I should say you're probably gonna make me get stuck here for even longer, but it's just the way I think. I mean, I wouldn't be able to lie to you anyways, you can read minds. Which is another pretty fucked up thing. She has the ability to read minds. She also has the ability to enter the dreams of people. Basically, she doesn't give a shit about your privacy. That's the second time I died there. Now you're supposed to jump sooner, obviously, but man. I jump sooner, I mean, I can obviously make it to the vine, but it feels so restrictive, you know? Like it's one of those things where I would love the cherry to not be there. I mean, the cherry makes the jump harder, but it's not like without the cherry it will be easier, because you still cannot jump over this spike with a single jump, and this vine is pretty high, so even if this wasn't here, it will still be pretty similar what you're supposed to do. So I feel like this cherry is there for no reason. Yeah, what's like being able to peek into everybody's head? I agree. I mean, Nahida probably wouldn't get offended. In fact, Nahida is a character that will say a lot of offensive stuff herself. I mean, one of the things she does in the main story is when the protagonist is kind of like nervous because of what's happening, like the whole city is under some weird shit, and he's also trying to look for someone and cannot find them, so he kinda is nervous, and Nahida tells him, well, if you want to relax, why don't you go take a shit? And I'm not making this up, by the way. She doesn't say the word shit, but basically she sends you to defecate. She says, I mean, the way they translate it is they say like taking a dookie or whatever. So yeah, Nahida is the type of character that wouldn't get offended. Rather, is the character that would be able to offend you, even without meaning it, because she's just a dumbass. She's just an absolute moron. So yeah, I don't think she will feel offended by me asking her what does it feel to peek into everybody's heads, unlike a certain other character from a certain other game that got pissed at me. But you know, Nahida is very dumb, so she wouldn't get offended. I mean, she only gets offended by actions. Is the reason why she doesn't like the Fatui. Well, nobody likes the Fatui, but I mean that she doesn't forgive them. But if you should say something inappropriate, she's probably just gonna laugh, or at worst be like, you know, you shouldn't say those things, hee. You know? It wouldn't go any further than that. But yeah, I think that at this point, with the amount of time that I spent on this room and the fact that Nahida is looking straight at me, she probably read my entire life story at this point. She had enough time to. I've been stuck here for so long that I don't think I have any secrets left. I'll enjoy them. But yeah. Still very messed up. And I thought that the Shio screen will be the hardest one, especially after knowing that Echo beat all of the other ones so fast. But no. It appears I was wrong, unfortunately. What a shame. But yeah, what can you do? You gotta accept it and move on. You know, it would be funny if Echo also went back and nerfed this screen. But no, Echo wouldn't do that for the simple reason that it didn't take him long to do. Like, he nerfed the Shio one because he struggled. Which makes sense. I mean, if even you struggle with a screen of yours, and the idea is not that you will struggle too much, you probably want to nerf it, but he didn't struggle with this one at all, so I don't think he's gonna nerf it. I mean, besides, it's one of those things that it's only hard if you are bad at binds. I don't think this is hard for anyone that is actually decent at binds. But for me, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible in the sense that it's extremely hard. Like, it really is extremely hard. Give me... Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's not like the Electro one or, I mean, the Anemo one were extremely fast, all things considered. But I do think that... I don't know why my instinct made me go up there. Man, it would be so cool if you could actually make that jump. Like, if you could make that jump, I feel like I probably would have already beaten this screen. But no, Echo told me this jump is not enough. So I believe him. It will be pretty fucked up if he trolled me and it's actually enough to choose double jump, but I think that simply counting the blocks it takes to get there, it's not enough. Because it's basically 1, 2, 3, I think it's 4.5 full 32 pixel blocks. That's not enough for a double jump. Like, essentially... Like, it's like this height. Like, here where I'm pointing the cursor, I'm pretty sure it's that same height. So you can see that it's very close, but it's not enough. I think there might be a trick to make your jump slightly higher. Like, by when you land on a platform, like, you jump in a pixel perfect spot, and you can make your... Yeah, it's what Opanker say. 4.5 blocks is actually doable, but not when there's a spike like there is here, yeah. But yeah, they are normally doable only if you do a specific trick, right? For what I understand. Like, if you make one of those jumps that requires you to jump off the floor very precisely, that's the only way to do them, right? Yeah, bunny hop, okay. So that's something I don't know how to do. I mean, I think I know the logic behind it, it's just that I don't have the execution to do it. But yeah, normally 4.5 block jumps are not doable. So yeah, you need that trick, but even with that trick, I'm being told that because of this spike, you also cannot do it even if you wanted it, so... you need to go for the vine jump, and it's a shame. Like, if you task me on how to nerf this screen, I will make this jump doable. Like, I don't know how I will do it, however, like, you will need to make this platform higher, but that will also ruin this champ, so you will have to change multiple things. But yeah, if you ask me how to nerf this screen, I will make this champ straight here doable. And not with bunny hop, obviously, but like actually doing it normally. The rest is still fucked up, it's not easy, but I feel like already nerfing that will make the screen a lot more palatable. As it is right now, I just feel like it's way too fucked up for me. Again, for buying experts, this is probably just another day, you know. Like for buying experts, this screen, they beat it more than half an hour ago. I'm very far from being that, and I don't even want to be that because I hate vines. I'm not even interested in becoming a vine expert. But yeah, it is what it is. I just thought that since I switched to keyboard I will do well. Like I did in some of the previous screens that had vines and they were relatively free with keyboard, but it's like this one is just in another level, unfortunately. Think something bad is coming? What? How is it going yamming? But hopefully everything is fine. I don't know what you mean by that. Mean something bad in the game? Something bad for you? Something bad for the world? I don't know what you mean. Don't scare me like that, come on. If you are joking, please make it obvious. I don't know what you mean. That's usually what people say when a meteor is about to hit the earth and end all life. I don't know, that doesn't seem that bad. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that... Hey, at least if it murders everyone equally, it's at least a way to go. I mean, it will suck. There are still things I wanna do, but hey, we will all go down. So there are no people that will lose, you know, will lose loved ones because they will go out at the same time. So all of the ways to go out, that's probably the best one. Probably is that all the people that are too young to have experienced the world. But yeah, I guess for people that are already a certain age and have already seen everything, or at least that they are mostly, you know, okay with what they experience of the world. The best way to go out will be to go out with all of your loved ones, so that way no one has to suffer. But yeah, I guess that's also a selfish way to see it. It's just that I say it that way because I don't have any loved one younger than me. Like all of my loved ones are older, so it will be fucked up if you have children and you say, yeah, I want to go down with them because they still have a lot to live for. But I guess that when you are the youngest, it's still a selfish thing to say. Like, yeah, I want to go down with all of you. But yeah, if one of these catastrophes happen, the best thing is to go down all together. That being said, Yami is a stoner and he's just probably talking about dicks. He's probably thinking about how he's about to receive a bad one. So yeah, don't pay too much attention. Until he clarifies, I'm assuming that's what he means. So don't worry, he will deflect and say, oh, you're just thinking about what you like, huh? Thinking that that deflection has any effect on me. But he doesn't know it doesn't. So yeah. Yeah, the best thing is to call Yami as Kiso. That's probably the best thing. If you're gonna say something like that and you don't clarify, you just gotta take the shit toll, because you deserve it. Or maybe he already got hit by the meteor and he can no longer answer. That's a shame. So if that's the case, that will mean that the meteor only affected him locally. Well, he will be missed. Probably not the case though. It was a small meteor. Yeah, don't worry about it. The meteor annihilated the entirety of Canada, but yeah, don't worry about it. It just did that. So actually, I think that Yami is not very happy about his country, so I think that that outcome is not something he will particularly dislike. So he probably will want to not be there when it happens. But yeah, I don't think he will be opposed to that. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that happening in my country. It's the only thing this country deserves, to have everyone be wiped out. It will be ideal if I'm not there, but hey, I wouldn't mind. Like, honestly, the world will be better off without this shitty-ass country. Well, it will be better off without most countries here in the region. It's just that a lot of people, like for example, one of the only countries in the region that the world wouldn't be better off without is Brazil. Brazil is one of the most important countries in the world. I mean, you can say it's because of the Amazon forest, but it's also one of the largest producers of food in the world, and one of the biggest countries in the world. So Brazil disappearing will be a tragedy for the entirety of humanity. The rest of the countries here, though, I'm pretty sure they could disappear, and not only nobody will care, but also it will be better for everyone. I mean, we are also very big exporters of food, so some countries will suffer a little bit, but for the most part, it's not a very big impact. I mean, not as big as Brazil is what I'm trying to say. But I guess if any country deserves surviving a meteor in South America, it's Brazil. It's the one country that it's still holding the earth together. So yeah, we wouldn't want that country gone. Or well, I wouldn't want that country gone. But all of the other ones, including mine, can go out for all I care. Really will be beneficial. I love Brazil. Well, I never been into Brazil, but Brazil is... like, essentially Brazil is one of those places that it could be its own planet, you know? It's kind of like China. These are countries that are so big and they have so much people living in it that they could populate a single planet, all of them. Not to mention that culture-wise they are also pretty unique, because keep in mind that differently from the rest of Latin America, Brazil is the only country that speaks Portuguese, and the only other country that speaks Portuguese is Portugal, but it's not even the same type of Portuguese. So Brazil is a very peculiar country, and you know, even if the culture is still not that different from us, it is still its own thing. So yeah, Brazil, just like China, are countries that are, they can be gone. They are countries that if they are gone, the whole world collapses. I mean, the same will apply to the USA. But yeah, the point is that these countries are way too important to go down. So, for the sake of the whole world, you will want them to survive. Like countries like Brazil, China, and the USA. I don't know what other country has the same degree of importance as those three. As you can see, there are other countries that are like very strong militarily, and you know, yeah, there are some African countries that speak Portuguese, but the Portuguese they speak has probably nothing to do with the one that is spoken in Brazil. But yeah, I mean, in terms of these languages that used to belong to empires, there are a lot of small colonies, especially in Africa, that do speak those languages. The biggest example is French. Well, there is an African country that has a name that you will think that pronouncing it on Twitch will get you banned, but it's a French country, so you're not supposed to pronounce it as you read it. It's pronounced Niger, right? Because it's French. And there are a lot of French African countries, because, well, France is a country that started colonies everywhere they wanted, and you know, back then. So yeah, usually Romance languages are spoken in more than just two countries, but Brazil and Portugal are definitely the biggest ones that speak Portuguese. Especially Brazil, of course. So yeah, essentially, as I said, Brazil, China, and the USA are countries that cannot go down, because the whole world is gonna go down with them whenever they go down. And as I say, I don't think I can say the same about any other country in the world. Because even countries like Russia or Japan or whatever, there are countries that you can say that are important relatively, but I don't think that if they disappear, the impact in the rest of the world will be apocalyptic. It will still leave an impact just like any country disappearing, but I wouldn't think it will be apocalypse tier. But yeah, the ones I mentioned will be apocalypse tier if they disappear. Okay. Don't gotta let that happen. Nice. Alright. Let me go until the 3 hours and 15 minute mark, and I'm gonna be done for today. I don't know if I'm gonna play this game again, honestly. These things seem... I mean, I can play when I have extra time on stream and I don't know what to do. I will play this. But this part just looks extremely hard. Well, unless Echo decides to nerf this again, which I doubt. Yeah, I don't think I'm beating this. But yeah, I could try whenever I have free time on stream and see how it goes. But I don't see myself beating this screen in an appropriate amount of time. I could probably beat it after like 3 more hours, but that's... yeah. That feels a little bit too mind-numbing. I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, I probably would also struggle with some of the other screens as well. It's not like it will only be this one. I mean, I don't know what the gimmicks in the pyro and the cryo section are. I do know that the one on the hydro section is the same gimmick that appears at the beginning of the game with like the water stripes. So that's something that I don't think should be hard to beat. But I cannot say about Pyro and Cryo. Those could be as hard as this. I don't think they involve binds though, so at least we don't have to suffer through the bullshit that binds are, but yeah, I don't know. Don't know how it's gonna be. But I do know that this is not gonna be beaten today, and that's fine. That's okay by me. It happens. This is just some good old skill issue. Yeah, this screen is just very hard. Well, to the point that my fingers are starting to hurt a little bit. Not that much, but they are starting to resent. Especially the left hand. I mean, it's always the left hand, the one that gets fucked first. But yeah. Well, it is what it is. As I keep saying, I can't do much when there is a skill issue like this. You can whine, you can complain, you can cry, but that won't make you beat it. Yeah. I can't believe that, dude. Well, it's still not the 15-hour mark, so it's okay. But it will be in a couple more attempts anyways. Well, I will tell you from now that tomorrow it's gonna be... Because if the weather report is right, tomorrow is gonna be Warframe again. So yeah. We're gonna continue with Draenor, the legendary steel path. I mean, we should be able to. Supposedly it's gonna be 20 degrees when I start stream tomorrow, and that is perfect temperature. More like Warframe? Well, yeah. That is indeed what I say. Mister. Yes, it is what I say. Yeah, don't worry about it. I didn't. What did I say? Pretty sure I did say Warframe. You say Warframe? Well, but I did too. No, see, this is the thing. This is Draenot's attempt at making a joke. That's the problem. It's a very similar sense of humor as Yami. It's the same type of humor. That's the reason why they get along so well. They have the same sense of humor that I don't understand. You know? Yes, Yami. And this time, he appeared on stream. So he was there. Just that you gotta take your meds to see him. I did reach the 15-hour mark though, so I think I'm out of here. But I don't know when I'm gonna continue this. I don't see myself beating this screen. This seems to be... this seems to be the type of screen that unless I get lucky, I'm not beating. Yeah, the 15-hour mark, that's where I go. I will be pretty sad if after 15 hours I'm still on the same screen, don't you think? But you know, that will be it for me for today. Oh, he say War Farm? Oh. So that was the joke, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, fuck you, Draenor. Yeah, thanks to Punker for pointing it out. I wouldn't have figured it out on my own. I had no idea, but yeah. That's gonna be it for me for today. So thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one and take care.